We're very grateful to be gathered today in Naivasha with the Council of Governors.
One of the functions of the Council of Governors is to ensure that there is best practice sharing amongst counties and that there is peer-to-peer learning amongst counties. We need to execute it better, we need to make it sustainable, so it's important to build the capacity of staff. And that is why we are collaborating with the EIP team so that they help us to better our peer-to-peer learning activities.
As COG, we have already been doing peer learning, but I think we want to structure it so that it is possible to do monitoring and evaluation of this peer learning.
So this is essentially a training of trainees, a TOT. So if you are a TOT, you're also going to train others. So we are going to have a pool of TOTs at the county level. Let's engage and have fun while learning.
Peer learning is all about actually, building relationships and having trustful relationships. And you don't want one organization or the peers from one organization to, behave in a way that there's no, sense of equality with the other organizations. You want to feel that they can really share information and that really there's a conducive sort of overall environment. It also promotes, local ownership of problems rather than looking for one-size-fits-all solutions.
When we're looking more at sort of how these different actors come together and deliver change, we talked a lot about behavioral change, right? So how do we want the top, for instance, in the authorizing environment, how do we want them to change in relation to the problem that we're trying to solve? How do we want the community to come together? How do we want them to change? And I think if you want to monitor so you take a problem and you do your stakeholder mapping like we went through, and then you have the main kind of groups, and you all did that. So I think it's good to then say, okay, we want some changes for each of these groups. It's important, for instance, that youth get more involved in the citizen participation around youth employment, right? So that they are influencing that. That's some sort of change that you specifically, like a challenge, a behavioral change that you sort of will look for in that group.
We are not sure whether we'll have all the human resources needed.
Because logistics aspect are basic.
You never know the outcome.
Number two, it's a mindset change.
Actual project is not
the issue of poor planning.
adapts to natural disasters. Then after that, we will have a report so that have we achieved
by constructing, specific and smaller problems. They're more open to finding local solutions that can be then adapted to the local context based on your knowledge and the experience, and also based on advice from other peers. We've delivered a training on how to do peer-to-peer learning, and we really look forward to our continued collaboration to help solve development problems and institutional reforms in the different counties of Kenya.
We expect people to show up at the workshop. We would like them to start using it or teach others. This is a TOT after all. And we would love, of course, to see an uptake at county level, right? So you see there's a certain progression there.
Today was fun. There was theory and practice because most of the team here are people who work with committees, who work with counties on a day-to-day basis. So there were very practical conversations going on in the room.
The group works was very interactive. I came to know that most of my colleagues are great debaters and they have general knowledge of the issues that are affecting people out there.
You get to learn more. So the group work involving problem solving, we have gone step by step. First of all, identifying the problem and then looking at the different elements of the problem, whether it is complex or simple, what are the quick solutions to these problems, and what would involve more engagement, more resources, to get to the solutions.
It's important for peers to craft a strategy to maintain awareness of the authorization needs of the initiative, identifying the key authorizers and their relationships to each other, as well as identifying what factors can influence them and what are the main barriers to change.
from here is to also train counties. We have the knowledge as the COG staff. We need to take the training to counties so that also counties appreciate what peer-to-peer learning can do and the potential of peer-to-peer learning.
Learning is lifelong and challenges come, they emerge all the time. So we want to see a situation where peer learning is part of the county government culture.
This is a good platform for us, and actually it's something that we can actually be doing it more often, to be sharing the same information, and also we can be now the champions of sharing this information with other people, and also we need to mentor other individuals at the county level.
The training was very engaging. The things that I have learned from the peer-to-peer, apart from what I used to know, is that we need also to understand the problems that we're facing. And when you are trying to address issues of the peer-to-peer learning, you need to have a clear mindset that you don't know everything, so at least you can also leverage on the existing knowledges, the indigenous knowledge that exists in the counties.
We look forward to being the knowledge champions and actually be getting the best practices from different regions.
Today, going through the quick understanding, going through the group works and going through that whole day learning, it's been a good day.
Well done, guys. That was an amazing session. They were very active. So I'd just like also to say thank you to our colleagues. And thank you to Matthew and Jane and Emil for putting this together. It was very, very nice. And my colleagues were very active during the session.